Looking at all the characters introduced in Belobog, no one stands out more than Sampo Koski. His clothes are otherworldly, his origin is a mystery, and he always has this unnerving presence whenever he's on screen. He initially comes off as a cowardly conman who runs away at any sign of danger, but taking a closer examination of Sampo's actions reveals it's all a facade. Sampo is way more deliberate and cunning than he appears. So, who is Sampo Koski really? Sampo Koski is a Stellaron hunter. Before explaining why I believe this, here's a quick summary of everything we know about Stellaron hunters. The Stellaron hunters are a mysterious organization who find and obtain Stellarons, the seeds of disaster, capable of causing massive changes to an entire planet's ecosystem. Think Belobog and the Eternal Freeze. Their ultimate goal is unknown, but inferences can be made based on the story thus far. Elio, their leader, is a seer capable of seeing destiny. He sends Stellaron hunters, incredibly powerful individuals, out into the vastness of space to best fulfill his vision of the future. This vision is sometimes referred to as Elio's script. We, the unnamed Trailblazer, are somehow integral to his script, but we don't know why just yet. For now, Elio's and the Astral Express's interests align. They have been aiding the Trailblazers in their endeavors, being heavily involved in 2 of the 3 main storylines, at Herta Space Station and the Xianzhou Luofu, but not Belobog. That begs the question, why didn't Elio send the Stellaron hunters to Belobog? The Trailblazer, someone who's integral to Elio's script, and a Stellaron reside there. Well, maybe he did, but the Trailblazers knowing his existence could have jeopardized their mission. When the Astral Express crew lands on Yarilo 6, they immediately stumble upon a snow pile in the middle of nowhere, where Sampo just happens to be in, hiding from the Silvermane Guards, Belobog's military. While in pursuit of Sampo, Captain Japard discovers them and attempts to arrest both Sampo and the Astral Express crew. They duke it out while Sampo escapes unnoticed. Eventually, the misunderstanding is resolved, and Japard escorts them back to Belobog. Doesn't look like the work of an infamous Stellaron hunter, but looking at the consequences, it could not have gone better for the Astral Express crew. They encounter Japard Landau, someone with close ties to the Supreme Guardian, Kokolia Rand, who they do end up meeting, which sparks all events afterwards. The next time Sampo appears in the story is right before the Astral Express crew is arrested by the daughter of the Supreme Guardian and next ruler, Bronya Rand. Sampo arrives just in time, throwing sleeping gas, knocking out Bronya and the crew. He then somehow brings everyone, including Bronya, to the underground. Looking at the fallout of this, 2 very important things happen. First, Kokolia losing her daughter now becomes so unstable she fully succumbs to the intrusive thoughts of the Stellaron. Second, the Astral Express crew, and more importantly Bronya, encounter the abandoned people of the underground. Sampo also guides the Astral Express crew to the unofficial military force of Belobog, Wildfire. It seems like everything Sampo does, unintentionally or not, pushes the Astral Express crew in the right direction. The final notable time Sampo encounters the Astral Express crew is when they need to meet Father of the Year, Svarog, who is the only being in the underworld with knowledge on Stellarons. When they arrive at Svarog's camp, Sampo quickly vanishes yet again, only to return right on time to save the day when all discussions broke down and when conflict was imminent. This gave the crew, Bronya and Sela, the edge they needed against Svarog. Now defeated, and with some convincing from Clara, Svarog reveals Belobog's 700-year-old secret. The Stellaron is responsible for the Eternal Freeze, and has been brainwashing every subsequent Supreme Guardian for the past 700 years. How did Sampo know the meeting was going to go down like this? And how did he arrive just in time again? Anyway, What ends up happening because of this is, first, the furnace core opens up, allowing people to go between the underground and the overground for the first time in several years. Second, Bronya, having been exposed to the harsh realities her mother had caused, and now learning the truth about the Stellaron, decides to confront her back on the surface alone. This sets up the final confrontation, where we come out victorious, capturing the Stellaron and bringing an end to the Eternal Freeze. Sampo then goes back and reports to a mysterious figure, which all but confirms he's not originally from here. Assuming Sampo is a Stellaron hunter, all the pieces in Belobog fit surprisingly well together. Elio, knowing the Astral Express crew would eventually end up in Belobog, sends the Stellaron hunter Sampo well in advance with a copy of his script. Sampo then meets with the various factions in Belobog, Wildfire and the Silvermane Guards, setting the stage for the eventual arrival of the Astral Express crew. When the crew arrives, he subtly influences events, guaranteeing their eventual confrontation with Cocolia. After everything settles down, he debriefs with an unnamed Stellaron hunter, thus concluding his mission. Pretty straightforward when laid out. Did I miss something? What did Sampo say during the last cutscene?
Oh, it was a close thing, all right. Good thing it dawned on me. Hey, Sampo doesn't have to be a protagonist, right? The likes of us are better suited to, shadowy comic relief, huh? Turns out the Astral Express crew is more fun than I expected. You liked it? Really? Told you so. No, I'm in no hurry to leave. What? Oh, Epsilon? What fun can you get out of a giant Vanity Fair like that? True happiness always entails the manifestation of the dignity of mankind. Now that's a quote I live by. Well, bye for now. Send my regards to the guys and girls in the tavern. Oh, and don't forget to say that Sampo Koski will catch them for the next one. Time to make my curtain call. To you, my dear audience, I dedicate my performance. I wonder, did I bring a little more joy into your lives? You don't have to answer that. But if the answer is no, then you'll break my heart.
Sampo Koski is a member of the Masked Fools, devout members of the Aeon Aha. Who is Aeon Aha? Databanks from the Astral Express crew state that Aha, the elation, is the Aeon of Joy. The elated one understands that only the wise and sentient possess the privilege of understanding joy. Neither the dusty rocks nor the distant stars can fathom the humor that life entails. A quest for formidable adversaries in games of strategy and activities to while away the time bears no winners or losers. Instead, a search for the kind of laughter that leaves one breathless will lead to the unexpected delights that uplift the soul toward divinity. Aha represents the ideology of finding the humor in life taken to the absolute extreme. Their followers, the Masked Fools, dogmatically live by this principle. An entry by Super Popstar Asked Wrigley states that Masked Fools, Aha's most devout followers, believe that the truth of the world is a joke, and that the ultimate meaning of all things lies in mere laughter. The universe is merciless, but joy eliminates pain, dilutes sorrow, resists nothingness, and heals wounds. Laughter, the God-given right of intelligent races, is the only answer. Masked Fools are extremely radical when it comes to their beliefs amongst the followers of Elation. In their pursuit of pleasure, they do whatever it takes to find it, often causing havoc wherever they go. They laugh at heroes for self-righteousness, kings for lust for power, lovers for infatuation. and scholars for overthinking. Their goal is to stir the stagnant pool of life to create surges and change. It is only then that the fools derive their greatest pleasure. This sounds like Sampo Koski when considering everything Sampo has done, stirring the stagnant pool and irrevocably changing the City of Preservation by aiding the Trailblazers in ending the Eternal Freeze. It's all in pursuit of entertaining this mysterious figure present during the final conversation. His entire cowardly con artist character we've seen up to this point is all an act to aid the Trailblazers without revealing his affiliations. Let's finally analyze that last conversation.
What? Oh, Epsilon? What fun can you get out of a giant Vanity Fair like that?
Epsilon is only mentioned one other time, in the Masked Fool's databank.
True happiness always entails the manifestation of the dignity of mankind. Now that's a quote I live by.
Given the context of the conversation, this is probably the most genuine statement Sampo Koski ever says. When he says, that's a quote he lives by, he means it.
Well, bye for now. Send my regards to the guys and girls in the tavern. To you, my dear audience, I dedicate my performance. I wonder, did I bring a little more joy into your lives?
The simulated universe is one of the best game modes in Star Rail, not only because of gameplay, but also it's a goldmine for lore on factions and aeons we haven't met yet. Obviously, nothing that occurs in the simulated universe is real. However, it is an extremely accurate replica. We can take the factions and aeons that reside within this replica and make assumptions to their real counterparts. Why am I bringing this up? First, one of the simulated universe's occurrences mentions that masked fools set up in taverns, which could be what Sampo was referring to in that last conversation. Second, and most interesting, the replica of Aha becomes fully cognizant he is inside a simulated universe, breaking the walls that confine him in the simulation. Much like Sampo does during his farewell, where he looks directly at the camera as if he's speaking right to us. There are still some holes that need to be addressed with this theory. Why was Sampo in Belobog to begin with? How was Sampo in the perfect places at the perfect times to save the Astral Express crew and guide them through Belobog? Either he's omniscient like Elio, Aha in disguise, or my favorite theory, and the one I think is most interesting, he's a masked fool working for the Stellaron Hunters. This would explain why he was in Belobog, how he seemed to know exactly where to be at the right times, and his very strange final conversation. One last point. Revisiting a quote from Asked Rickley on Masked Fools, their goal is to stir the stagnant pool of life, to create surges and change. It is only then that the fools derive their greatest pleasure. Who else is better suited for that than Stellaron Hunters, those who actively chase destiny? This last theory is more in the territory of speculation. There is still so much we don't know about the Stellaron Hunters and Masked Fools. Sampo could even be affiliated with a group we haven't even heard of yet, whose motivations and goals cannot be understood until we continue our story. Whoever Sampo ends up being, I'm sure it'll be a complete surprise.